In this video, I'm looking at the Acustica Audio Cerise British Style Channel Strip plugin, and you can grab this as a free plugin download until February 14th, 2021. I'm Zane. Welcome to Audio Tech TV, where it's my goal to help you conquer the tech so you can unleash your creativity by providing easy to follow audio tech tips, tutorials, and reviews. Now, I've included a link to the Acustica Audio website down below so you can easily click down there and grab this plugin for yourself for free while you can. But right now, let's jump in and give it a listen. Alright, before you can download this plugin, you must first install the free Aquarius Assistant program, and this is about a 10 megabyte program. The plugin itself is just over 600 megabytes, so it's not a small plugin, but the assistant itself is pretty straightforward to install, and then once you have it installed, it's very easy to install and authorize the Cerise plugin from within it. And you can choose from VST2, VST3, AU, and AAX plugin formats. Now let's talk about the plugin itself. The Acustica Audio Cerise plugin is an emulation of a vintage transformer-based channel strip. It includes a preamp section, an EQ section, a compression section, plus it also allows you to control the stereo spread a bit. You can use Cerise on vocals, drums, and pretty much any instrument really. Acustica Audio uses dynamic impulse responses to create the emulations of hardware units, and this is another great plugin from them. It can be a little heavy on system resources, so if you have a slower computer, you may want to keep an eye on that, but this can take the place of multiple plugins that you might have loaded onto a track, so there is that. Now let's look at some of the controls of Acustica Audio Cerise. And you can see you have four main sections. You have stereo, equalizer, dynamics, and preamp, plus your input and output sections. But the main sections are these four in the middle. So the first section is your stereo section. And you can see we have the spread knob right here. And the spread control allows you to control the balance between the full mono signal and the side signal. And there's also a button right underneath it that you can toggle on and off. And when it's toggled on, you go into spread mode that leaves the mid intact. It allows you to only control the side when you're using the spread knob. So let's have a listen to the difference between using this button and not using it. So we'll start with it off, and here's what it sounds like. Then down here, of course, you have your pan control for left and right, and you can turn this whole section on and off by using the button at the bottom here. The next section is your equalizer section. You have your low shelf, your mid, and your high controls, and you can choose the frequency in each of these. Then up here, you have your gain controls for each of those frequencies, so you can choose how much you want to take away or add in those frequencies. And then in the center, you have these buttons here. And what these do, for the low and the high settings, it changes the Q control from shelf to peak. And then in the mid, it controls how broad or narrow the mid frequency is. So when you push it in, it makes it more narrow. Take it out, and it makes it more broad. Then again, you can turn this section on and off by clicking the button down at the bottom here. Next is our dynamic section, and this is our compressor. So you have your threshold over here, so you can set which level the compressor begins to operate. Then you have your timing controls, and you can see it's fast, medium, medium, slow, slow, or automatic. And of course, you have a makeup control, so you can try to level match the compressed signal with the uncompressed signal. You have your ratio control down here, your filter, and you have a dry wet knob to control how much of the dry or wet, which is the compressed signal, you want to go through to the next section. And then you also have some buttons down the center of the dynamic section. And this mode right here, when you press it, the threshold goes away. This puts it into limiter mode. And then we have the VST button right under the timing. And when you enable this one, it actually speeds up the attack and the release times, modifying those times by 70% of the original value. And then right here, you have an interesting button. When you push this in, it's the routing button. And when it's turned on, it actually changes the routing. So your compressor will come before the equalizer in the internal routing of it. You turn it off and it flows the way it looks here, where it goes equalizer, compressor. So that's kind of an interesting button right there. And then finally over here, we have our preamp section with a couple of controls. And the first one is our high pass filter here. You keep it all the way to the left, and then it goes into the bypass mode for the high pass filter. And it can go from 20 all the way up to 250. Then down here, we have our texture knob. And this controls the global boost of the harmonic saturation. And between these two knobs, you see this A-B button here. And that switches it from the standard A circuit to the B circuit. And the standard circuit features more saturation in the lows and mid-lows, where the B circuit gives you more saturation in the high mids and the highs. Now, the trim control all the way over here, now it controls the amount of harmonic content of the drive section and the transformer-based output preamp. The trim varies the input level from -24 dB to +24 dB, and it adjusts the plugin's internal operational level, and this is different from a standard input gain control. However, the linked output gain stage always ensures that whatever gain change is introduced at Cerise's input, the output level is automatically compensated. So now let's test out Acustica Audio's Cerise plugin on a few different sources like vocals, guitar, and some more drums.
We don't care, want that rockin' attitude. If not us, we don't care, want that rockin' attitude. If not us, we don't care, want that rockin' attitude. If not us.
If you want to check out even more free VST plugins, click up here, or click down here to see what YouTube recommends. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. For Audio Tech TV, I'm Zane. Keep creating, and we'll talk soon.